What up, Dokkanners? Global received the data download last night for the upcoming Dragon Ball Heroes celebration. So in today's video, we're going to be continuing off of the momentum that we built up on the JP data download video. In that video, we discussed all of the things that are coming up. JP did have a super battle road that Global does not have. That's just because they're ahead. But we went over all of the EZAs. We went over a bunch of things regarding the various events of the celebration. So we're going to be just continuing off of that. But I will be overlapping on a couple of things. But I do recommend that for those of you who didn't watch the JP data download video, definitely go check it out. Since this is a joint celebration, the JP data download videos are important for global players as well, and vice versa. Vice versa? No, it's vice versa, right? Yeah, it's vice versa. So anyway, 754 megabytes global data. Hopefully you guys are able to download that. Let's start with the stuff that I should have mentioned in the previous video that I wasn't able to otherwise. Actually, you know what? Let me just remind you guys, the banner is dropping tonight. So I dropped the JP data download video on the 20th of November for me in my time zone. So the 21st was the next day when I recorded that. However, this video is being recorded after the global data download, which is on the same day as the banner's dropping, so the 21st. So for me, it is dropping later on the same day of this video being posted, 10 p.m. Pacific, November 21st, 6 hours after Global's reset. If you don't know what time that is for you by adding 6 hours, simply just go to the new Dokkan Wiki. On the homepage, it shows you specifically your time zone, what time the banner is going to be dropping, and that is the easiest way to figure it out. If you don't want to do math, if you don't want to add 15 hours like JP players would, because the banner does drop 15 hours after their global or their JP reset, simply just go to the new Dokkan Wiki and all of your problems will be solved. I love that this is going to be here probably for a full year. Because of the whole like world tournament shenanigans, they postponed the Gohan stuff till 2024. Okay, actually, no, it won't be here for the rest of the year. It'll be here until it goes away though. That is for sure. So whenever we do get world tournament, that's when this will go away. Until then, this will be the placeholder date. So this will always be at the forefront of any like data download dump. Oh man, that's going to be annoying. All right, so let me follow up on the things that I mentioned on the previous video. There was a little bit of an issue with some of the translations from Google Translate because JP. So now that we have the official translations, let's take a look. Toa has a medium chance to dodge as the second or third attacker in a turn. All allies attack and defense plus 20 when there are 3 or more extreme allies on the team. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 50 when performing a super attack. All allies key plus 1 attack and defense plus 10. And changes AGL to SDR key spheres when all allies are in the Dragon Ball Heroes category. Okay. Wow. Okay. So there you go. That is the free-to-play Toa. She does work pretty well with the Dark King FU, mother-son kind of thing. So that works. But yeah, I'm not going to be going over everything else because like I said in the previous video, I did all of that. The lags, there was also a bit of an issue with the dodge. It is indeed a medium chance to dodge post EZA. And everything else is what I mentioned in the previous video. That pretty much covers the units in terms of the translations in question. But I didn't even talk about the Xeno Trunks. This guy's Super Strike Event Renewal EZA. Let's see if it's good or not. Raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and greatly lowers defense. Attack and defense plus 100, key plus 3, plus an additional attack and defense plus 100 when facing only 1 enemy. Plus an additional defense plus 150 when facing 2 or more enemies. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 100 and performs a crit when the character is the only Defender of Justice category character on the team. Interesting. High chance of foreseeing enemy super attack. All allies key plus 1 up to 3. Attack and defense plus 7 up to 35. Per Defenders of Justice category ally on the team when there's another Defenders of Justice category ally on the team. So there is a situation for both scenarios when you are the solo defender or you are amongst a team of defenders. That's cool. Plus an additional defense plus 100 and high chance to perform a critical hit when facing extreme class enemies. So basically, you don't want to be the only Defender of Justice, because if you do, really the only thing that you're gaining is the extra attack plus 100, but the crit kind of is taken care of down here just by facing a bad guy. Interesting. This guy doesn't look that bad for a free-to-play Super Strike Event Renewal. Not on par with like the Int 16 or anything. I think this is actually pretty decent. Let me know what you guys think. Now let's move on to Burst Mode. So I did mention that for Burst Mode, they didn't explicitly list the Burst Coin Silver. And so that led me to believe that there was a possibility that they would not be doing the special Burst Coin Silver situation for this. And if you guys don't know what that is, Burst Coin Silver, to be differentiated from Burst Coin, is the mission exclusive item that you pick up in a finite quantity during each burst mode. You can exchange those burst coin silvers to then pick up unique equips for the 2 specific categories that they have you use in the challenges. They started this during the Halloween one. Back then, we were able to get Heavenly Events and Majin Power unique equips. So I was expecting the same thing to happen here, but because they didn't list it in the details, I thought that maybe they either wouldn't or they still would, but they will no longer be explicitly mentioning burst coin silver. Turns out that the latter theory was correct. the burst coin silvers are indeed in the missions, so they will be a part of these things moving forward. They just won't be mentioning it explicitly in the burst mode details, which is kind of weird. They might as well, right? They're talking about regular burst coins. Why not mention the burst coin silvers? So we are going to be getting Dragon Ball Heroes and crossover unique equips, which is cool. Why do I keep saying equips? They're supposed to be skill orbs. So yeah, we're going to be getting those skill orbs. You can obtain a finite number of these silver ones, and then let me pull up the skill orbs here. So if we go to category, Dragon Ball Heroes and crossover. So if you are going to be summoning on the banners tonight, then make sure you keep in mind that if you do pull the units that you want, you might be able to pick up those orbs specifically tailor-made for Dragon Ball Heroes or crossover. Don't waste your, your best skill orbs right away. Maybe do burst mode first and then see if you can pick up some of these before you do that. So that is going to be coming up, which is pretty cute. Big shout out to Proton again for all things data download information. Follow him on Twitter at Proton10MG. Okay, thank you. Everything in this data download breakdown is the same as it is on JP. The only difference is that Global does not get the Super Battle Road, the latest one, because JP is obviously ahead. We do get everything else, including the trade jewel, which was mentioned on the JP data download, which I did not discuss. Now, if you're wondering what that is the special silver Dragonstone thing that you do get as an exclusive offer during the Dragon Ball Heroes celebration, but it is something that you have to pay for. So most of you will probably not. Actually, I don't know. Is most of my viewership free to play or not? I feel like it's maybe half. Less than half? I don't know. Whatever. If you do spend, you would have to buy it. The benefit of buying one of these is that it allows you to specifically choose one of the Dragon Ball Heroes characters minus like the new class to pick up from the shop. Now, the advantage of doing it this way is that if you are trying to pull one of the older units, for example, for me, I was massively struggling to pull the Supreme Kai of Time. So for the longest time, I just could not pull her on my summons because when I did start summoning, I only got her on the general unfeatured, so it was very sparingly that I was picking her up. So I used these stones to pick up more copies of the Supreme Kai of Time. So if you are somebody who does dabble a little bit in heroes and you're missing out on, like, I don't know, Vegeta, and you want to just have that copy, instead of risking it with summons, might as well pick him up with this. It'll cost you something, but at least it does give you the guarantee of picking him up. So there is benefit for spending players to actually maybe invest in that. Plus, you are doing it with a Dragonstone pack. So the special 100 stone pack, from which you get the Super Dragon Ball Heroes crossover special stone, can be purchased twice. So that was last year. It should be the same this year, I would imagine. Moving on now. The last thing that I want to talk about, actually, there's two more things. The Dokkan event medals. Global is in fact getting the same support missions, meaning they are going to give you some of the medals automatically so that you don't have to spend as much time. But I'm letting you guys know right now, it's going to be a grind fest. If you're trying to obtain all necessary medals to awaken all characters, here's the breakdown. Vegito needs 77 of these Vegito medals. Rose needs 77. Dark Blue Vegeta needs 35. Broly needs 35. FU needs 35. 77 is the equivalent of 11 runs on that event at the highest difficulty. I'm not factoring in boosts. I'm not factoring in the missions. I'm just talking about just straight up 11 plus 11 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. That gives you 37 runs. 37 runs. That's a lot. 259 medals. So the goal of these missions is to help alleviate that. Now you can earn 14, 14, 14, 14, which is 56. You can earn 56 of these medals, but depending on how efficiently you do this, you could either earn 63 medals or you could earn 84 medals, because if you do this all in one lump sum, then you get 7 medals from the actual run that you did, plus these missions. Or if you take longer, you would get more. So if you really think about it, they're kind of taking out about a third of the workload. So I kind of did the math for you. So this is the total amount. And then this is the breakdown with the missions. 56 total medals available from missions, assuming you complete one mission per run. Again, it really doesn't matter how fast you do this, right? Like, you could be as efficient as can be and you get all these missions done, get these done at the same time. You're still gonna have to run the event more times. So there's no need to be fancy here. You can take as long as you want and you can be as ineffective as you want. You can earn up to 84 medals after 4 runs. You still have to do basically twice as much afterwards. So have fun with that. And I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun. Here's one of those points where I would recommend, if you save some boosts, that will save a lot of time. Boosts are better suited for like link level grinds and stuff like that. But when you've got absurd numbers like this, I don't think we've ever had something this high before. All bets are off. I don't care. I'm using my boosts on this. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm doing it because that's just insane. So now the last thing that I want to talk about is the red zone event. The red zone stages are coming to global just like it is on JP. So we are going to have to fight lags, we're going to have to fight golden meta cooler, and we're going to have to fight hearts or Dio. Oh yeah, we're also getting Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's bodyguard recruitment test starts in a couple of days. Where is the red zone missions? That doesn't matter. We already know that those are going to be the bosses that are coming up. So what I wanted to talk about was basically how the events are probably going to be shaping up. Now, these are not like the finalized details for the upcoming red zone. So we will obviously have to wait for like final confirmation when the event comes out. But this is very likely what it's going to look like. So for lag stage 4, the first phase will likely be int, cause supreme damage to the enemy and lower attack and defense for 1 turn. Second phase will be AGL lags, cause supreme damage and lower attack and defense for 1 turn, and seal for 1 turn. So seems like pretty standard stuff. It'll still have like the same level of difficulty as, you know, you typically would see on a red zone. Maybe a little bit toned down just because it's heroes. Then we've got for stage 5 that is going to be golden meta cooler. First one's going to be tech, raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy. Second phase is going to be AGL, golden meta cooler. Raises attack for 1 turn. So first one's raising defense, second one's raising attack for 1 turn, causing immense damage. Oh, and then the last one. So the last one kind of caught some people off guard, myself included. So let's take a look at this. Stage 1, int super hearts, raises attack for 1 turn, causes immense damage. Second phase, STR ultimate hearts, causes explosive damage to the enemy. Now, if you're wondering what explosive damage is a 1600% damage multiplier. To put that into perspective, a supreme damage multiplier is 250. And I believe ultimate or colossal or something like that is like 440 or something like that. So 1600 is insane. And what that makes me think is that he is going to hit you with a world-ending cataclysmic GameCube attack that you will not survive. And I think the goal is to blitz him before he does that. I don't know if we have any more details on the event than this, but I still wanted to share this with you guys. So even if like some of the details are murky, not exactly accurate, I think this is going to be a pretty insane thing that we all need to be looking out for. So if you're trying to do a specific mission on the red zone, because you do have to clear with 6 fused fighters, you have to clear stage 6 with 6 Dragon Ball heroes, just be mindful of something potentially, you know, cataclysmic happening at the very end. So be very careful, bring some items, be prepared for something pretty nasty. A 1600% damage multiplying GameCube attack, while that sounds wholesome, that also seems very, very lethal. So get ready, folks. The action starts later on tonight. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on the upcoming red zone stages based on that information? Do you think they're going to be fun, challenging? Do you think they're going to be too easy? What are your thoughts on the other EZAs that I mentioned in this video? Anything in general regarding heroes from the last video and this one? Which EZAs are you excited for? Which units are you excited for? Let me know your thoughts overall in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again. Stay tuned and urge to Dokkan responsibly.